Is it enough to say, I know what government has to do, government should do it, I'll fight? Or I need to get more people to understand where we're going? So that the 6 years I spent fighting Galamsey should have been spent educating people on its ills in the communities. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm opening the floor. What are your thoughts on what the missing link is and what we should be doing to get a better society using the Galamsey or any other example, the cookies and the running water thing? Who's going to? Yeah, Patrick, of course. Please, I need a couple of mics here. And if you're watching us on TV, please put your comments on the stream, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. Jude, please help me with the mics. I'll let Patrick make a comment. I just like to see by hands those who are interested. Yes, Selassie as well. Anybody else? All right. So we're on TV, so smile. You're on candid camera. Smile, you're on TV. All right, Patrick. Sound, yeah.
So this is just a quick comment before we start the conversation or continue conversation. One thing that struck me about the conversation we just had was we seem to be drawing a line between citizens and leaders. Mm-hmm. But I would suggest, and we're just talking about citizens. Mm-hmm. But first of all, we should talk about good citizenship. You can have bad citizens and good citizens, okay, right? And good citizens care about the common good, okay? Maybe one definition.
Yes.
Leaders themselves are citizens. A leader who is a bad citizen causes problems. A leader who doesn't care about the common good, that cares about himself or herself first, or even their political party first, rather than all the citizens, can be problematic. And I would suggest that as we're continuing this conversation, we should think about good citizenship is important, that good leaders are also good citizens first. Okay. If they're not good citizens, they will not be good leaders of the citizens.
I like that. You can't produce a good leader out of a bad citizen. Yeah. This is great. You should put your hands together for profound ideas. Yes, madam.
Okay. So, on just
your name, your age, your class, and you start your letter.
Okay. So, my name is Selina LC. I'm 19. A mechanical.
Oh, no, forgive me. Sorry, that was... I borrowed that from Chiche Kule, a TV show we used to watch. Uncle George Lane. Just tell us what you're studying. Forgive me.
I'm a mechanical engineering student, class of 2027. All right. So, on this issue, I wanted to say what Dr. Patrick said, but since he has said the beginning, let me continue. So, it's more like, I don't think there can be a distinction between our leaders and the citizens, because as he said, our leaders are first citizens of the country. And nobody has to take the blame. I don't think it has to be that this person has to do more or this group of people are the ones that are not doing it. So we cannot say that the citizens are not doing it when it seems like both parties are not doing what they are supposed to do. So let's all do what we are supposed to do at because as he said, if our leaders are good citizens, they would do the right thing and they would make the right policies. They will react when they are supposed to react to the views of the people.
All right.
And with that, it will even make the responsibility of the citizens easier.
Wonderful.
Because I wouldn't have to go on a demonstration for people to be wounded, for the police to shoot at me, if my leaders will listen to me when I come to CCTV to speak. I wouldn't have to go to an extreme level for some things to happen if I will be listened to. So if both parties do their jobs, I think we'll
wonderful. Put your hands together for her. I just wanted to say something. We have two very good definitions that we can use as a working definition. So Mami said, a citizen is the person who both takes the cookie but puts off the tap, understands right and responsibility. And then Patrick takes it further to say a good citizen is the person who thinks about the common good or the collective good. So I think those are good working definitions for us to now ask, am I a good citizen? Number two, how do we get more good citizens, right? I think those are very important because the conversation shouldn't just be everywhere. We're trying to get to something. And I like those two definitions, right? So in your contributions, it's good to say, I'm Bernard Avle, I'm a good citizen. And this is the evidence. And by the way, this is my plan for creating Come, bring the mic. For creating more good citizens. Give it to Selassie. We're in the same economics class, so I'm favoring her. Selassie.
Thank you very much. And it's been an amazing panel. I've learned a lot today. And I say I've learned a lot because I feel like that is something basic that probably most Ghanaians are missing. Where did we lose about teaching what the responsibility, or who a citizen is, and what the responsibilities of a good citizen is? Maybe I've forgotten about it, but I don't think I've learned that anywhere. And today has been an eye-opener for me. So I think that is where we should start from. Wherever, whether it is primary schools, secondary schools, or even us now, we should start from that. And then in a small way, we would be able to start doing that. And looking at, you asked the question whether I am being a good citizen. I don't think I'm being a good citizen.
Oh, thank you.
Because I look at my own community and I see so much going wrong that I could be, actively speaking up or doing something about, and I'm saying, there we go again. He's doing X or not doing Y, but I am not taking any action.
Wow.
I think it's going to change from today.
Thank you, Selassie. So we shouldn't assume that because a person is born a Ghanaian and given, Jude, look at where I'm going. Give it to this lady. In white. Because you are born Ghanaian doesn't mean you're a citizen. You must be trained. It's not assumed. It must be inculcated. I like this point. Hello, madam.
Okay,
go ahead.
When was at what point in your
Sound.
education did you encounter the idea of citizenship? At what point did you learn what you were supposed to do? If you go through UPS, high school, university, when was the first time you thought of having to do something for your community? I think that's where we went wrong. The fact that we don't tell our children this, we don't teach them until they are much too old. I remember looking at I homeschooled my children for 7 years, my husband and I, and when I first started, we thought we'd just administer the material that existed and just do it differently. Until I started looking at the material that we teach our children. And one of the things that most took me aback was that the citizenship textbook, the Ghanaian citizenship textbook for year 6, had a topic on brushing your teeth. And I thought, in year 6, the average Ghanaian is 12. That's when we're going to teach them about the value of brushing their teeth? And then I did a comparison with an American state curriculum. And in year 4, they were talking about paying taxes. What are taxes? What are they for? Year 4.
That's class 4.
Class 4. Wow. And I compare, if we are now teaching them why they should brush their teeth in year 6, when will we tell them to care about Ghana?
Beautiful. So that adds to
Can I add to?
Yes.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, I would have come back to you guys, but so you add more.
Well, yes. The thing is, a long time ago, I think I'm really a little older than everybody here. There used to be O-level civics. My sister, who is older, wrote O-level civics.
Not an elective.
No.
It's like a...
Yes, civics. But by the time I was writing O-level 7 years later, there was government, but there was no civics. And I think everything was then bunched up into social studies.
Yeah.
And
now we don't know what
that citizenship part of civics was just left to, die. Yeah. And it may be because of the years, the revolutionary years, it became we no go sit down and rebellion and revolution and things like that. So then we lost it. There is nothing about civics and citizenship and all that anymore. And it's a pity because...
So you're endorsing the need to be deliberate.
There is a need
on
to
the
be
citizenship education or inculcation.
Yes. A concern for your community outside of your four walls.
Wonderful.
You really must.
Thank you. Lady in white, finally.
Thank you. So using the scenario Dr. Mami used of a room where a leader comes in with the followers and the knocking scene, I feel like in Ghana, we've made our leaders knockers for a very long time. And now from ages between 18 to 19 years, we are trying to stand up and prevent them from knocking us. But because it has been a trend, it's a habit, we are not able to stop them. So that's where all this disparity and everything comes in. Because The leaders feel that they have been knocking us for a very long time. So why should you stop me now? And leaders forget that they are citizens, as Patrick said. They are citizens before they become leaders.
Yeah.
The moment they become leaders, they forget that, oh, I was part of this group of people. And citizens too are not aware that, oh, I'm a leader on my own. I can speak for myself. Everybody in this room is their own leader. Because I can be the president, you can be the president. What makes different from...
I think what you're saying, the forces don't like it. But persist, keep saying it. Keep saying it. Yeah, I knew. Yeah. You're almost there. And I wanted to add what you were saying. It's not the guys have knocked our heads for long, and they think that's the normal thing to do. And the worst part is when you say, don't knock me again, 17 of the 19 guys say, please keep knocking. Because that's what it's supposed to be. So your challenge is not only to stop the guy knocking your head, but also to tell the 17 other guys that, hell, this is not how to live. Which is where I'm going to. How do you... Because you can tell the guy to stop knocking your head. But so long as he has 17 other heads to knock, he's fine. Because they'll still vote for him. Yes. So how do you get him to stop knocking? And also tell these 17 guys that, hey, this guy shouldn't be knocking our heads. You get me? So just wrap it up.
Okay. Ghanaians lack unity. We don't have a sense of unity amongst us. Thank you. We know what is wrong and what is right. We are not children anymore. Even a 5-year-old child will know that what is happening is not good and what is bad.
Yeah.
But because of certain benefits people receive from higher ups, they tend to neglect the wrong and neglect the right, and look at the wrong, which is not helping the nation.
Wonderful.
Grow. So I believe that Ghanaians should come together. We should put our hands together and fight a force. If some people are talking against it and some people are doing it, it's not going to help the country. We are just going to go back. I don't see Ghana progressing. We are always going back. Other countries are moving forward and Ghana is stagnant. So we need to put our hands together. We need to put forces together to work together.
Wonderful.
To make Ghana progress.
You didn't mention your name. What's your name?
Yodias.
Eunice?
Yodias.
Thank you very much. Put your hands together for Yodias. Which is why I like the Ashesi Education Collaborative, because Ashesi is not trying to shine alone. You are bringing people along, all right? This what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in this way, then I'll come this way, so it's easier. So let's go to the back. The lady in orange, I don't know, what's the color? I'm not good at colors. It looks, what's the color? Rust. You went to gay here?
I did.
I know, Charlie. Are you also a gay? That's where they learn these things. My sister is one. Go ahead. Rust, okay. Wow.
So my name is Jessica, and the conversation I find very interesting. I think that one of the things we need to consider is a redefinition of what leadership is. When I was a student here at Ashesi, we had a class called Leadership, and we talked a lot about servant leadership. And it allowed you to engage in what it means to have power, and what it means to be responsible for the power that you have, and what it means to be a good leader, what makes you a good leader. And we tended in that class to go into the community because we thought of leadership as it's not what you get or what you gain for yourself, it's really what you give out to people and how you pull everyone else along to make sure that we're all in for a good ride. And so I think that we need to re-examine what we define leadership as. It's not about driving the Land Cruisers in town and making sure that when you're driving through traffic, everyone else should suffer in traffic, but then because you have a title, we should pave way for you to go through, right? So that's one. Two, we need to understand and define what our core values are. Because I find that and yes, we've talked about civic education, I think it's important, but if we have, growing up, I remember I was thinking, what does it mean to be a Ghanaian? And the one thing that everyone says is, oh, Ghanaians are humble, and they're very welcoming and loving. But at that point, like, what does that actually mean for us? We need to define what our core values are as Ghanaians, as citizens, as this is what everyone must sign on to from childhood. You get it inculcated as part of who you are, as part of your thinking, in the school curriculum, and then we realize that the shift starts to happen.
Wonderful.
And so for me, how do we create more good citizens? Redefine what leadership is.
I like that.
Let's hold ourselves accountable and then define what our core values are. And that way when you see someone doing something that's not a part of what the core values are, you can then point them out and say, hey, you've misstepped and you've gone out of the line. So that's
Thank you so much, because I wasn't connecting the leadership citizenship thing. And you say to create a good citizen, redefine leadership. So you've sort of linked it up nicely. Thank you. Can I call you Madam Rust? Since they say yours. Anything here? Okay. Wow. If you can make it short, we'll get more. So, like 30, I'll come to you. 30 seconds, 1 minute. Yes, please. For the cameras. Smile, you're on candid camera.
My name is Nuku. I'm a computer science major at Ashesi University. And I like to say charity starts from home. So all the information I have about leadership and citizenship is as a result of the conversations me and my parents had at the dinner table. So I feel like to create better citizens and better leaders, parents should be intentional about raising their children at the dinner table. Talk to them about problems in your community. What can I do to solve this? Oh, the grass is not green here. What can we do to solve this? This table wasn't clean last night. As a good leader, what can you do to take initiative to solve this? Because if our parents, as our first leaders, when we come to the world, don't make the initiative or are not intentional about raising us at the dinner table, I feel like when we go into the world, we will not see the importance of leadership and citizenship.
Wonderful. Put your hands together for that. I like this. Stay in that zone. One more from that area, then I come here. Those gentlemen. Yes, sir. For the cameras.
Hi, my name is Darryl Dufu. I'm a mechanical engineering student in the class of 2026. I think to go back to what Jessica was saying about redefining your values, a lot of the time you hear Ghanaians saying that Ghanaians are supposed to be humble, you're not feisty, you don't fight, that sort of thing. And I think that's part of where the problem stems from. I think a lot of us do not want to push back when we feel that we've been wronged as Ghanaians. It's our leaders are not taking the initiative to do what we've asked them to do as leaders, or we ourselves are not taking the initiative to do what we should do as citizens. A lot of the time we just say that I don't want to fight, I don't want to...
Yeah. You're almost there. Yeah.
A lot of the time we say that we don't want to fight, we don't want to cause trouble, and that sort of thing is part of why, in my opinion, part of why we are where we are as a country.
Thank you. Let me take the last comment from this side. I'll give you my mic.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Nala Myokoboy. I'm a Management Information Systems student in the class of 2025. And what I would like to add to the conversation is the fact that I've noticed that a lot of times as citizens, we want ourselves to succeed individually. And we are not really caring about, as we said earlier, the greater good. And so one thing I've noticed is a lot of parties, for instance, they care about, okay, if something is going to happen, is it going to happen during my time? So that in the end, they say that, oh, let's say Galamsey was solved in my time, Dumso ended in my time, we got this grant in my time. We think about the glory going to to just ourselves, as opposed to, is Ghana going to be better in the future? If I start this project now, if I start fixing this road now, will it end in my time? I won't care about, okay, I would finish this project in my time, but I'll think about, okay, once I start it, the next person would now also be willing to continue it, because they don't just feel that, oh, I'm coming to finish what somebody else started, but I'm actually going to finish this project because Ghana needs this problem solved.
Put your hands together for now. So I'm going to move to this side, and I'll end with the middle. Now, we do have some student leaders from other universities who joined us. And so if you are from a different university and you're a student leader, if you can raise your hand. Yes, sir. If you want to make a comment, we'll give you the mic now. So introduce yourself. Any student leader from a different university. What position do you hold? Tell us about yourself, and what have you learned? What do you want to say about leadership?
So thank you very much. My name is Francis Kujo, the president for University of Ghana Business School. And I must say that I'm very happy for this particular event, most especially with the theme or the topic, simply because as a student leader, there are so many things that we experience. And I always, wherever I stand, I tell my people that in order for you to be a good citizen of the country, you shouldn't allow yourself to be the partial one, which is half one, meaning you're experiencing just the right and you're not performing your responsibility. As the leader of an association, you are a member, and therefore there are certain criteria which makes you a full member of the association. And when it comes to payment of dues, it's like tax payment when you have to, enlarge it to the citizenship wise, right? So if you are a member of the association and you are not paying your dues, how much more you being a good citizen to the country?
So it starts at that granular level.
Exactly.
And this is business school. So do business school students pay dues to the association that you're? Yes. Are they paying? And are you delivering? You're delivering. Wonderful. Thank you, UGBS. I want somebody from a different university before. So yes, not Ashesi. So any university apart from Ashesi, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm also Bernard from University of Energy and Natural Resources.
Wonderful.
UNE SLC General Secretary.
Sunyani.
Yes, please.
Wonderful. So you came from Sunyani for this?
Yes, please.
Wow.
Okay, so the issue is, the little we have, what are we actually doing? I know most of us are student leaders. Being even a course rep, what are you doing with it? I believe in school, I serve as course rep, department president to SLC General Secretary. But I always believe that the little we have, at least we could make impact. But if you are holding a portfolio, you are not doing anything, what do you expect those up there should do?
Thank you.
So that's for the leaders aspect. As citizens, what are we also doing? We are causing our leaders to do this. To even get a position on campus, we know what it entails.
No, we don't know.
Okay, sure. So in the trend, not only my campus, in the trend, for you to be a student leader, even the portfolio, you have to pay and those things. Day of election, people are requesting for money from you. And I've observed this politics trend in the sense that my school has grown enough to the extent that even when you bribe people, the students know who they're going to vote for. They want to deliver. But if you are to come to our locality, is this so? These people are not that educated. What impact are we also going to give out there? That's the whole issue. So if you're able to rise up and just bring the truth, it will be done.
No, I like this. When he said people pay, you are like, I don't know where you live, but are you telling me you don't know that people pay? What are you guys doing? No, not, but Ashesi is not the world, guys. There's a lot of, campus politics is bloody, right? They know this, all right? So he's speaking the truth. And even with our delegate system as well, to rise to become anything, people are actually demanding money. Yeah. And I think that's another leadership question. So what do you do? As somebody offering yourself, you lose the position to make the point, or you pay your way and say, let me win first. Because that's what we tend to see, that, well, let me win the election and I can make a change. You could make greater change by losing the election. Yeah. Because I think what we've decided, we've become a society of winners who don't lead. Because winning and lead is not the same thing, right? And I think it's a very important point he's making, that if we as student leaders can't live right, we can't expect the general society to live right. And sometimes losing an election is your greatest victory. Yeah. I'm not going to pay for this thing. Let me lose and let justice be done, though the heavens fall. So thank you for your contribution. Any other university from outside Ashesi before I come back? Yes, sir. Legon.
Yes, I'm Eric from University of Ghana, studying public administration.
Thank you.
It looks to me very much like Ghana does not yet have citizens.
Hey. Charlie?
Yes. This is because I once chanced on a video on the YouTube before when former President Barack Obama was addressing a group of students graduating from a college in Pennsylvania. Yeah. And much of the things he was telling them has to do with how they should live for their country, America. And I don't see that here in Ghana. We don't have that spirit of living for our country, sacrificing for our country. We believe everything is just about the So you find someone later in the environment, you call them up and they tell you, this place is not for your father, or this is not your house. Yeah. Even in our hostels, someone leaves the fan on running at the top speed of 5. A few minutes later, he pulls up the blanket to cover himself, meaning he's feeling cold, but he won't turn off the fan. because he knows the power. He's not paying for it directly. It's the school that is paying for it. This kind of mindset, Americans are trained to live for their country. That is why their soldiers go to war ready to die for their country. But we don't see that here. Even our soldiers are not ready to die for our country. How much less the student? The ordinary citizen. So until that change of mindset comes, we cannot see progress. I believe in what Dr. Mami, said, that it is not mainly about the leaders, but the citizens are the ones producing the kind of leaders we have. If we are being responsible in our own little ways, we will see progress in Ghana than we are seeing now.
Put your hands together. Well, I'd like to say something. I like the open forum, it's great, but I want us to channel to, so what next? All right, so we've spent enough discussing the problem. So what I want to do with the rest of the time is to say, okay, so what are the kind of things I am doing or I can do? Or what are you doing that you want us to come and help you do? Because I hear the word collaboration, work together. All right, so I'm not trying to frame too much, but we've heard enough. So the next round of comments, tell me how you're solving either the citizenship problem, the leadership problem, the good citizen problem, and how we can support you do this. So for that, I'm coming to the middle. All right, so Jude, come to the middle here. The lady, yes, first, and then the lady in purple. Yes, you go next. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Josephine Forgive Dwamepo, a second-year computer science student in HSC.
All right.
So I want to share my perspective on the percentage of we, the youth, that usually say, no, I won't vote when it's time. I grew up in a typical home where there's extreme partisanship. Growing up, I know that this is the kind of political party that I need to vote for when I grow up, because that's what my whole household supports. So I'm like, okay, that's it. When I'm 18 years, this is who I'll vote for. In a way, practicing citizenship, because I surely go to vote. But is that good citizenship? As Patrick said, that's where scholarship come in. Coming to HSC, I've learned that I need to question even the person I support, even my favorite people, I need to question them. Is this what you are doing? Is this right? Will this move forward, or will this bring a positive change to my society? So I believe that scholarship gives us a framework for us to understand that we need to question every action that is being taken in our country, and we need to voice out, because we, the youth, have a greater voice to impact the change that we want to see. So I think higher education is very important in our society.
You've set your own question and you've answered it nicely. Charlie, you are wild. I like it. No, it's beautiful. I mean, wow. You are too much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah.
My name is Favor. Okay. My name is Favor, second-year student, computer science.
All right.
So we have been talking a lot about holding leaders to account. And I get worried about the weight of whatever we try to do. And I think that what can bridge that gap is proper legislature. If we say that we are going to talk to our leaders and question them, how? What mechanisms? What means? Is it just, I feel like because we have reinforced bad leadership for a long time, just speaking about it doesn't do anything. And that's why the leaders wait till we go to the extreme. Because they feel like, well, we are talking, it's not going to do anything. So I'm thinking that there should be legislature that gives us channels, proper channels to hold leaders to account.
Okay.
And as well, that legislation should require the leaders to respond to whatever we have said. So that way, accountability is easy for us to hold them accountable and for them to respond. And I think that would be.
So you're talking of an accountability mechanism.
Yes.
An accountability. In an example of a state agency, I think the accountability mechanism is there. It's a very important point to make. Thank you. Oh, gosh. Okay. Kamini? Is that the name? Kenny, forgive me, yes. Yes.
All right. So I think that there are about 3 solutions that come to mind.
Thank you.
The first thing is we need to make good citizenship attractive again. Because at this point, you are punished for being a good citizen.
Yes.
An example would be what happened during the Stop Galamsey protests. There are so many of my friends who were put behind bars. Some of them have lost jobs, lost scholarships, and all sorts of other things. And that cost, nobody is being held accountable for it. It's almost as if, no one sent you to go and protest, so deal with it. But unfortunately, we are silently sending that message to everyone else that you should shut up and mind your business, and hopefully no one will come for you. And that is why we are all becoming ostriches. We all look away and mind our own business and hope that no one will spot us or single us out for speaking up, because we tend to be punished for speaking up. Even if you speak up and people mind you, then you get a threat, like Bridget said, or you get punished for something, you lose out on something. So we should find a way to make citizenship attractive again. The second thing is, I think one of our big problems with nation building is that our leaders are insulated from our problems. So doom saw, bad roads, think of whatever problem you have. Your typical leader is not directly interfacing with that problem. So it is not top of mind for him to think about how to solve it. So I honestly think that perhaps we need to find a way to rework our constitution and change the kind of privileges and opportunities that our leaders get, so that they will be incentivized to actually fix our problems, because that's something that's not happening. I think the third thing I want to talk about is our institutions. They are not working. Everybody is losing faith, confidence in them. For the last 6 months, I personally have been arting the Peace Council and the National Commission on Civic Engagement, because for the last 6 months I was expecting some sort of why it's important, how to vote safely, how to respect yourself. None of that has happened, and we are less than a month to the election.
To be fair, NCC is trying, but
I haven't
it's not
seen
enough.
anything.
They've gone around the country. Even today, she was on City. She's doing well. Kathy is doing well. But I know what you're saying. It has to be done multiple levels. Yeah. But I think you're giving us 3 things to think about: making good citizens attractive, not insulating our leaders from the problems, and then civic education from institutions. You've introduced a very good word. We have a lot of comments from online, so I don't know if we should take a few, and then we can discuss the rest of our kinky, because everybody wants to talk, so we can discuss the rest of our lunch, right? Because I'm aiming to end at 1, and it's 12:54, right? We also have constraints. So let me read a few comments so you know we are not alone, all right? Bernard Mauli Togbe says, this is a healthy dialogue. Leadership is supposed to be nurtured through conscious effort and purposeful initiatives. Edith Okonu says, if the person who has the authority is not a leader in the true sense, then the organization or the country is in trouble. The reverse is equally dangerous. Nuni Studio Live says, this should be done in SHS schools. It will help. He's referring to this conversation. Ghana's new curriculum addresses matters related to civics education through OWOP, Our World, Our People, Social Studies and RME. How about that? Cheers, Bernard. This is from somebody called Foli. Michael Kwaku Osewusu says, this indeed is an eye-opening program. I wish I were a student at Ashesi. It's not too late. You can apply. Go to ashesi.edu.gh. You could even get a scholarship. You could cite this text. Hansen says, I'm loving this. God bless you, Bernard. God bless the panel members. Alfred Nunu says, people know what to do, but will they do it? That's the question. And then one says, we need to talk constantly about these things. It creates an environment of awareness. Let's not make these conversations background. Let's make them main conversations. If you agree with that, put your hands together for the Ashesi City Dialogues.